Good morning and welcome to another very exciting edition of the Saturday Breakfast Show with me, your homegirl, Nangula Nanyamba. You know the gist. As always, I have the best lineup for you today. We're going to start off with our little exercise segment, you know, to get your blood flowing, make you excited, get you ready for the day. And then, my favorite part of the show, the breakfast segment. And I have a very special guest joining me today, Mr. Issac Hamata. He is a sports icon here in Namibia, and he's going to be talking to us a little bit about, you know, the sports industry. Everybody is speaking about sports right now. Of course, our national Olympic heroes, Mboma and Masilingi, are, you know, shining the Namibian flag high and bright right now. So we're going to dive in and talk a little bit about the sports culture in general. And that's our show. Stay tuned, and I hope you're going to have fun. I know I'm going to have fun.
Good morning. This is Chef Ndati here in the kitchen. So, and we are going to prepare a traditional omelette today. So as you can see here, we are having our ingredients. This is the chopped onions, the chopped parsley. This is a ham, the mushroom, and the tomatoes, the eggs, and we are going to use the butter and a bit of cheddar cheese. We are going to fry our onions, which we're going to use a bit of cooking oil, just a little bit. Okay. And the onions, then the tomatoes, and we're gonna add the ham. We just need to fry it a bit. We aren't gonna use any season because you know ham is already salty a bit. We add the mushrooms. I think we should add a bit of oil. Then maybe we can mix our eggs with milk. We don't want it to be running too much. You can put butter in the pan. Not too much butter. You just spread it all over the pan. Awesome. This is ready. Maybe we can take it out. Otherwise it will overcook. This is ready. I think the pan is warm enough so we can put the eggs in. Looks like it's not nicely warm. It's okay. Let's just see. What do we like? You can go on Instagram and look for us, Gents Catering Services, or you look for Ndati on Instagram and Facebook. Okay, enjoy your day.
Shout out to the breakfast show, ladies and gentlemen. This is the breakfast show, all the way from Namibia, Windhoek.
Hi, this is DJ Gaddafi, aka the Black Mamba. Shout out to the Saturday Breakfast Show. I'm chilling with my homie, Siabuya Logistics. Catch us at Marry Me, December.
Welcome back to the Saturday Breakfast Show, and today I have a very distinguished gentleman joining me for breakfast. His name is Issac Hamata. He is a national sports hero here in our country. He is actually the former CEO of the Namibian press agency, so I'm wondering what does sports have to do with that, or how did you make the transition?
First of all, thank you for having me on your show.
You're most welcome.
It's a pleasure. I've been watching it. It's quite nice.
Thank you.
There's no transition. Sports is what I've been doing from very early in my life. It's passion. It's what God has given me to do for society.
Right.
God gives everybody a talent and an opportunity. So God has given me sports.
Do you feel like sports is your purpose?
I think I live my purpose through sports.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I serve God through sports.
Okay.
Everybody else would do it in their own different ways.
Yeah.
But I think sports is what God has said to me. Listen, take this sport and impact the lives of young people positively, influence society in a different way than it would. Yeah, so that is really what has gotten me into sports from an early childhood. And I've seen people from when I was 6, 7 years old, when I go and I run out of the house, of course. My grandmother wouldn't know. And I go to sports and I see the camaraderie, the friendship, and some people, because of the fact that they play sports, they are able to benefit in one way or the other from those who are able to provide. And people can only play sports.
Right.
And others, and that's all they do. But others help them because they are part of a team. You share in what they have.
Right.
And that's what I've learned over time, that camaraderie, teamwork, it helps to accommodate those less fortunate than yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
So why do you think that spirit of camaraderie that you're speaking of amongst the sports community hasn't necessarily transcended into the greater sphere of the Namibian population? Why do you think sports is not celebrated as much as it should be? Because if we look elsewhere in the world, I mean, people are making billions, millions of dollars in sports. Why do we not have that same sense of, you know, community here in Namibia?
It's a very, I don't know how to answer it, but it really boils down to leadership.
Right.
It really boils down to us maybe not understanding the value of sports and the benefits it has for society, not even from a financial or monetary point of view, from a health perspective.
Right.
And sports doesn't have to be at the highest level. If you play sports at the lowest level, you keep yourself healthy. And I always make the joke that if you have medical aid, you save up on medical aid by just jogging, running, walking.
It's actually a very simple sentiment, but it's true. You save so much money by just being active.
Yeah.
Why is it that we don't have? I remember when I was in school many years ago, sports was basically you couldn't differentiate between sports and education. It was one and the same. You cannot pass school if you're not being active or you don't have some type of extracurricular activity. Why do you think that has died? Because I read an article and they were basically saying our sports stars, you know, after like the fame, I mean, with everything that's going on with the Olympics right now, it's like they're celebrated for a year and then next year they, you know, fade away into obscurity again. Why do you think that is?
It boils down again to leadership. We don't sustain our successes. Why don't we leverage off or take advantage of those successes? To say, Frank Fredericks, when he won the 2 medals in 92 and 96 and the World Championship in 93 or 95, somewhere there, there you should have seen, Frankie won a Benz at the World Championships. That he's been driving for long, and then Auntie Ricky, may her soul rest in peace, drove it afterwards.
Okay.
And he earns so much money, but that's not really the issue.
Right.
He earns so much money by just being on the international circuit.
Yeah.
Now, if I were to be in that position, I was going to push a lot of people into that space. Because then they don't become the burden of government anymore or their family, because then they become responsible to take care of others, because now they have an earning just by running. Imagine, you just run 11 seconds or 10 seconds, and obviously the training takes a lot of time.
I was about to say, I think for sports, it's a bit tricky because we only see you that one day on the track or at the Olympics running for that one race. But it's actually a lot of preparation. You run for months and months and months and months. And there's money that's involved in that. There's kits, there's equipment, there's venues and things like that. So how are we going to now bridge the gap to where we want to be from where we are right now?
Look, it takes a concerted effort. It takes the right leadership. It takes policy interventions from the top. It takes corporate involvement, unfortunately so. Without them, and anywhere in the world that manifests, you can't have something that requires money and you don't have corporate involvement. Because many a times, or most of the times, endorsements are what makes sports. The moment people excel, and you could have seen with the 2 girls, when Christine Mboma took 2nd place at the Olympics in the 200 meters. The number of, or the flood of support coming from corporate. Now, why don't we leverage off that to say there is goodwill among corporates if you do well? Why don't we push so many people to do well? But that happens at school level. When the schools where most of the kids are, if they can be encouraged to go into sports, whatever sports, whatever sports they are, so that the Olympics is a multi-code sport. I think there are over, I don't know, but there are many disciplines. So why don't we push our kids into this? Swimming, shooting, whatever it is. And I'm sure we have the talent.
Right.
And somebody was even saying, why don't we send NDF to go and shoot because there's a shooting discipline. Yeah, the young guys in the NDF.
Yeah. No,
maybe.
it's true.
So why don't we push them there? And from there, we have a critical mass of Namibians who are into sport, who are going internationally, participating on the international circuit, earning a living out of sport, and then lessening the burden on the government.
Right.
But it would be the government's responsibility to create that environment for people, whether it's school or NSSU level or wherever, but it should be government through all its structures, so that we can get the opportunity for many of our people to really love their potential, to excel in what they do. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you must go and get a degree.
Yeah.
Some of us can go to wherever we want, the highest heights of this earth, by just sports, arts, culture, whatever it is.
Right.
And then the moment the leaders realize this, the more it will benefit them, because there's going to be a health element and there's going to be a satisfaction element, because the more people are excelling on the international circuit, the happier we are as a nation, the less critical we become of things, the less stressed and angry we are, because good things are happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, our breakfast is here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Put it this way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I wanted to ask, where do you think that push is going to come from? Like, what do you think? Even me, maybe I don't consider myself a sports person at all, but I mean, I do have a platform of sorts. So how can I, as a Namibian citizen, impact that push that we need to see in the sports and arts and cultures, all the sort of disciplines that are not as celebrated as maybe, you know, education or whatever it might be? Where do you think that push is going to be, and what can we do?
It comes from advocacy, comes from activism, comes from giving statistics, giving facts,
Right.
and speaking into the right ear, impacting the right mind. And these are your policy makers, these are your leaders of sport, these are your corporate leaders.
Right.
Using the achievements, and we are going to refer a lot now to Christine and to Beatrice,
Right.
because they are the most recent success stories that we have. And especially where they come from.
Yeah.
They are not coming out of the blue, but they are coming from a situation that not many of us would want to live in. But it tells you the strength of courage. If you have courage, of your conviction to say, I'm going to forget where I come from, I'm going to get hold of this assistance that I'm getting from people who are not my family members, who are not my color, and they want to help me to excel. So I'm not going to let them down. I'm not going to let myself down. I'm not going to let the nation down.
Right.
I'm going to do the best. So, but it is us speaking into the right ears. These two girls, and maybe many others who will come after them, have given us the platform to say to people, you see, these are just two people who got an opportunity. What if you give an opportunity to more people?
Right.
And then I can tell you, I attend many sports events in Bandung and elsewhere in the country. There are many excellent young people. They just need that one thing called opportunity.
Yeah. Do people actually make money in sports in Namibia?
There are two things we need to do, is to elevate the status of Namibian sports.
Right.
By getting more people into sports and more people out of Namibia, competing with people outside, that will then trickle back. If the corporates see many of our nationals are competing outside, then they'll see value in investing in sports, and then the remuneration will increase as we go along. But for now, let us really worry about getting more people outside. Excuse me. Let us get the critical mass of Namibians participating in all sorts of sports, so that we can elevate the status of. And that is what a country like Jamaica has done. Jamaica is 2.9 million people. They have said, okay, what is our strength? Except for reggae music. The strength is in athletics. You know, they have school relay races. When you look at, you can go to YouTube and see, it's like Sam Nujoma Stadium being filled to the brim.
Right.
This is just a school's relay race. That's how seriously they take athletics. Because that is what they used to export. Those are their diamonds and their uranium. And many of the top athletes from Jamaica, they are based in the USA. They study there. They run for those clubs there. And that's money going back into Jamaica.
Right.
So if we have this mass, that's why I'm advocating for that, of our athletes going there, they run for Namibia. Where do they invest when they come back? Here in Namibia. They inspire Namibians to run.
You're having an omelette. I'm having these delicious fish fingers. So we have to wrap up now. But what advice do you have to give to the next generation coming up after us when it comes to sports?
Look, like any other thing, like a guy who wants to be a doctor, like a guy who wants to be an engineer, follow your dreams. Do not be discouraged by anything. If sports is what you are good at, pursue it.
Right.
Get into the minds of those that make the decisions to give you the opportunity so that you can excel. We have proven with the small numbers of people we have exported through various kinds of sports. We have rugby players, we have football players who are supporting their families with money that they are making from sports.
Right.
So do not give up on your dreams. Leave a purpose, find something to do, and do it very well. One day you will be rewarded.
And there it is. You heard it from the man himself, Mr. Issac Hamata. Thank you so much for joining us. I certainly learned a lot about sports. I mean, I don't consider myself a sports person, but you have so much insight, and I think everybody watching at home will definitely learn something from you.
I thank you for the opportunity to speak to Namibia.
Amen. And we'll be right back.
You are watching the Saturday Breakfast Show.
My name is Mboma and I'm 18 years old. And I do 200 meter and 400 meter. I started running in 2019. My dream is to become a world-class athlete. I was running in Poland 400 meter and I broke the world junior record and the African record. It was even a national record in 400 meter. I think I could get a medal in the 400 meter at the Olympic. I believe in myself, and the 400 meter is like, it's my dream to run 400 meter at the Olympic.
I'm Beatrice Masilingi. I was born in the Zambezi region but raised in Rundu. I started competing in a national team 2018. That's when I made my first national team that went to Botswana Gaborone for the under 20 youth games. That was about 4 years ago, and about 18 years today. And I'm more specialized in the 200 and 400 and 100 as well. 400 I have a 49.53, which doesn't break any record, and in the 200 I have a 22.65, which is a national record.
You are watching the Saturday Breakfast Show.
Waya waya, kopesha, shallow, 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 tá brincando, shallow, 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 shallow. Yeah, bola vive tu na mienge, minha menenga me mata, mata monenga, mata mo filho. Shallow, shallow, shallow monenga le mata, shallow, shallow. Shallow, mon filho me mata. Shallow, shallow, shallow le mata mon nenge. Shallow, shallow, shallow mon nenge le ma. Tá brincando, wassa che. Tá brincando, wassa che. Work a che. Work a che.
Imembali natu amatu wadesi yake natu inouka ko kaku otupia nandu kutulo batu otulinu mulatu o mavotu veli vatatu inouka ko kaku fuego
tá brincando, né? Wassa che. Tá brincando, né? Wassa che. brincando. What's a shot? Tá brincando? What's a shot? Tá brincando? What's a shot? Tá brincando? What's a shot?
And that's a wrap for today's edition of the Saturday Breakfast Show. I certainly hope you enjoyed yourself. I know I did. I always have fun with you guys. I love spending my day with you guys. So until next time, ciao.